Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a guide over Jiang Jun, who was the heavy that was in the Wu Lin faction that was added in the Marching Fire update. As a heavy, he gains more renown by getting assists, defending objectives, or saving teammates from dying last second. Now let's get into his moveset. First off, he has a 2-hit out of lock attack. So upon sprinting, simply just do a heavy, and you can do basically just 2 heavies. However, you can feint after the first one. If you lock on very quickly. I don't even know if you can feint it out of... Can you feint it out of... Oh, you can feint it out of lock. Okay, good. Next up, he has a fairly quick zone that comes from the right side. Does 28 damage. And that's about it. And he has a free form 2-hit chain. So light into light, heavy into light, heavy and light and heavy, heavy and heavy, so on and so forth. However, his heavies have special properties. The first one is hyper armor, and the second one has unblockable always. So you can chain these together, or yeah. I recommend delaying your lights though, as they are somewhat slow. So delaying them makes up for it, and you can delay them a decent bit. However, I wish you could delay them more, but that's beyond the point. Next up, we have what is known as Mighty Sanction, which is his 4 dodge heavy. And you can also choose to do a shin kick after this, in which case you will be given a light. This can be done by pressing guard break and mid 4 dodge heavy. Upon this wall splatting, you are also giving a top heavy, because this can wall splat. Now, since this wall splats, the best option is, if you ever get a wall splat, is to wall splat him yet again after Mighty Sanction, is to do a Mighty Sanction, then wall splat him again, and then do your top heavy, as your chain top heavy does more than your neutral top heavy. As you can see on the right hand side down there. Next up, we also have what is known as Mighty Backlash. Upon doing a dodge heavy to the right or left, you will be given a heavy with extended dodge property, so it's much easier to dodge stuff with it. It will always come from the direction you dodge. However, it can be soft feinted to a light, which will appear in the opposite direction of where you did the dodge heavy. These both can be feinted normally by pressing the feint key, whether it's E or B or I think it was circle on PS4. This makes it very useful in case you want to do a wall splat to someone like this and they know you're about to do the shin kick. Just do this, feint, guard break, and then feint to shin kick, and then do another top heavy. Little stamina intensive. But that is why we also have what is known as Jiang Jun's Sifu's Poise. This can be done by pressing C on the keyboard or holding down on the right analog stick for both controllers. Don't worry about that. In this stance, Jiang Jun can rapidly gain stamina, and at startup can be used to dodge attacks. So if I were to get her to do a heavy, notice how I'm just dodging the attack as soon as I enter the stance. This can also be used to dodge Highlander's kick into caber toss as well, should you choose to do that, but just dodge and then do Sifu's Poise, as you don't have the full dodge recovery. So, it's a pretty powerful, considering, for instance, if I were to do a zone. By the way, your zone also leads into your chain as well, so yeah, it's pretty powerful. Out of this stance, the only attack you can do is zone, which is better than nothing, but it comes from the opposite direction. But again, since zone can lead into your chain, makes it more powerful here. However, you can choose to do a light or something like that, but I mean, you want to be boring. um, but yeah. So, other than to rapidly gain stamina, it can also be used as a way to gain stamina back from being out of stamina. So you can gain your stamina faster than your opponent and be the be on top of that situation. However, this can be used to cancel the recovery of heavies, cancel the startup of heavies, or cancel the recovery of lights, as it cannot be used to cancel lights like Nabushi's Hidden Stance, because I hate Nabushi's Hidden Stance. So it can be pretty powerful in combos. But yeah. Oh, by the way, off of guard break, you were given a zone as your lights do less damage and your heavies will not hit. Not that you would want to. That does way too much damage off a guard break anyway. That's pretty much that. Now, now let's get on to the defensive part of Jiang Jun. I should probably now upon parry, Jiang Jun has many options. He can do what every normal person can do. He can do a light off of a heavy parry, or he can do a top heavy off of a light parry. I didn't parry that light because or he can just use Sifu's poise to dodge it. I mean, that works too. I can't seem to parry this light for some reason. Just demonstrate. There we go. And me giving 37 damage for parrying the light, reasonable. Or these are the good parts. Or you can use Jiang special punishes, which are choke and zone. So off of doing a parry, press guard break to initiate a choke. They will have hyper armor and slowly lose all their stamina. So everyone can just gank them. Or you can do an unblockable zone. Why didn't I just... There we go. So, yeah. Choke or zone. Which, honestly, are both very good options in a 4v4 situation. So... And since the zone is unblockable, it basically means it's guaranteed, but it can also lead straight into your punish. Um, Another thing to note about the choke, uh, follow me, is that the choke can also wall splat. So upon wall splatting, the guaranteed punish would be to basically just do your Mighty Sanction softening again, and then punish them that way. So, but on the off chance you do a choke when there isn't a wall, just simply do a light. Now it'll have damage reduction, sadly, but you weren't supposed to fall down. I was about to show that later. So yeah, you guys saw it there, but now the thing is, when you choke them while they're out of stamina, they can fall down. So this basically is it. Now, when you choke them while they're out of stamina, they will fall down. In which case, the punish would be light into top heavy. However, the light will always whiff unless they're near a wall. So, to demonstrate that, do a light choke, and then, yeah, that would be your max punish for there. However, if you're not near a wall and you parry someone out of stamina, just don't choke them at all. Because you're given the light and the heavy from neutral anyway if you don't choke. And I did the choke anyway because... Anyway, as I was saying, just do this, light, and a top heavy. And you're given that if you don't do the choke. So, only do the choke if they're near a wall or you have teammates ready to gank with you, which actually is pretty simple to understand. So, my recommendations on parry punishes. If a parry off of out of stamina, do a light and a top heavy with no choke. As you guys saw, it does reasonably more damage. And off of a parry, off of a heavy parry, do a zone. And off of a light parry, do a top heavy. I don't know why I didn't parry that. And yeah, off of a light parry, do a top heavy. And off of a parry next to a wall, do a choke into Mighty Sanction Punish unless they are out of stamina. That about covers it for Jiang Jun's moveset. Now we are going to go into his feats, which he has a very good stockpile of. Now, I don't have all his feats, but I pretty much know it. Against all odds, nearby allies do more damage the more enemies around. So basically, if you ever walk into a gank where the other enemy team is ganking your team or teammates, simply pop this and your allies will deal more damage. This also applies to officers and the king as well, I believe. So it's it can be pretty brutal. But again, only useful if you have enemies around. Deadly deals more attack deals slightly more damage every 3 seconds, only after you land an attack. So, it's not a very good feat. I don't know why Ubisoft had to nerf that one, to be honest. And Speed Revive. Rapidly revive fallen teammates. This is very good for Jiang Jun, especially in Breach, as revives can mean loss or win in that situation. And as well as you can revive teammates faster than some enemies can regain stamina, which is very good considering Jiang Jun's choke to get enemies out of stamina fairly quickly. So this is what I would recommend is the speed revive. However, against all odds is also good in some situations as well. Benefaction. I love this one. Nearby allies benefit from Sifu's poise. Effect depends on how long the stance is held. Basically, the longer you're in Sifu's poise, the more any ally will just rapidly regain stamina. And you can use this if you have two Jiang Juns. This is pretty stupid. If you have two Jiang Juns, you could have one standing in Sifu's poise, constantly healing the other, constantly gaining the pushing the other's stamina into uh, to never go out of stamina, constantly clearing minions. So you have one Jiang Jun feeding the other Jiang Jun while he clears minions, and that can be pretty broken. However, you have to sacrifice two people um, to boost the RAM, which could be better, could be worse, but it's a worthwhile strategy. Inspire. Allies and yourself deal more damage. Soldiers fight faster. Very good for doing short bursts of attack on the RAM as well as possibly the king as well. Um, yeah, that's a pretty good feat, especially for Breach. And revenge attacks. Attacks when locked on, fill the revenge meter. That's why does a heavy have that? I don't know why. However, self-explanatory, can be worthwhile. And then we have Soothing Mist. Heals allies in effect based on how many enemies are around. Basically, it's this feat against all odds. It's basically against all odds except it heals you instead of it gives you an attack buff. So this is mostly useful in case of when people are trying to attack the king. Let's say all four enemies are trying to attack the king, but the king is at half health. Well, a simple option would be to go over to the king, use Soothing Mist. It'll take the idea that all four enemies are right there and will heal the king a significant amount. Same can be done for allies as well. Why can't I select feats? I don't know why. And then he also has tough as nails, raises max health when unlocked. Basically, as soon as you unlock this, you gain a lot of health, which does seem pretty reasonable, though I don't know why you wouldn't go with this option instead. Second wind recovers some of your health and also negates the effects of bleed uh, when you use this feat. So I don't know why you wouldn't use this, as well as it constantly refills very at a decent pace. So very worthwhile feat. Don't know why you wouldn't use it, but your choice. However, Tough as Nails does seem pretty compelling, I will admit. And on to his fourth feat, we have a couple very good options, might I say, especially for Breach. Fiery Barrage leaves fiery sparks behind the target that stuns all enemies who cross it. So if you step into the circle where there's a lot of fireworks, you will instantly be stunned and go out of stamina, and it's amazing for keeping people away from a certain objective. And it also recharges very quickly, so it's it's something. Fire Flash, throw a projectile, creating fire over an area. You guys know what the Vikings all have it. It's basically a borrowed Viking feat. And then the Phalanx, grant a shield to all alive teammates, including yourself, and this also includes the king. So you you basically can just shield the king and yeah, keep him from taking damage for a fairly decent amount of while. However, it does have a very small duration, so use that in as soon as you notice someone trying to attack the king for the most effectiveness. And I guess we'll just go take a quick look at his perks as well, because why not? Remedy, 10 health on kill, not bad. Bastion, when in a zone carrying the banner offering, gaining 2% damage resistance. I don't know why there would be a big thing when carrying the offering, as soon as you carry it, you and take damage, you drop it. So, but whatever. And when getting a renown level, you get faster. Vengeful barrier. When exiting revenge, gain a 25,000 shield. Last stand. When on critical health, gain 20% damage resistance. Bulk up. The more levels of renown you get, the more health you get, up to 16 extra health. Not that much of a difference, but still worthwhile. And Rising Dawn, revive allies to 75% health. I recommend this one with the speed revive. And also if you have it, protected revive. You will become a monster reviving machine, and it is amazing. Well, that about covers it for my Jiang Jun tutorial. If you guys did like this, make sure to hit that like button, and don't forget to show me support by subscribing as well. And also, most importantly, leave a comment down below if I missed anything, or if you have suggestions for a next video. And I'll see all you dudes later. Bye.